Then we got the call from Europe about Karatbars, and my husband came in, was telling me about it. I just sold a business, and I was needing something to sink my teeth into, and he brings me Karatbars. And I looked at him, and my first initial response was all I heard was online marketing, network marketing. And that was not me. I'd spent 35 years roughly in the corporate world and owning my own companies and building large sales organizations. And, I had a fear there. And I think it's a common fear that I hear just about every day, is because my idea of network marketing or online marketing is my husband had dabbled with different companies. He had, built a pretty large group in a nutritional product and, had the money coming in and, come to find out the owner had some property down in Florida. This was, back in the late 2000s, 2008, 2007, somewhere in there. And the owner was in trouble down there in real estate. So he kept coming in and withdrawing from his cash cow. It was very successful. There was a lot of people and a great products. And, make a long story short, he got so upside down in his real estate that he came in the office one night while no one was there, emptied the accounts, took everything of value, and disappeared in the night. And, and just left all these people hanging. And that was what my mentality was when it came to network marketing. Because how many of us have been with those companies that you sit there and you build your team up and you get it right where you want it, and the next thing you know, either the government shut them down or they're gone. And, when I build something in my past, I want it solid. And I'm not a fly by night kind of person. I was always the girl that I need you to look me in the eyes and I need to look you in the eyes. And that was important to me. But my husband said, but honey, it's gold. And I'm like, okay. And I didn't get it, to be honest with you, in the beginning. And I have a financial background on top of that, and I did not get it. And he asked me to do some research, and 2 weeks in, there was nowhere else I could go, because my husband and I had collected gold coins. We were acquiring not bullion, but coins, from time to time. We had silver, we had copper, we had, gold, we had those things. And as I got to really researching it, and, one of the questions that kept coming to me was, Cheryl, where can I go buy bullion? Because we were not open that first year. Well, I want to buy bullion today. Where do I go? And I didn't know the answer, to be honest with you. I know we've got a lot of people on the line today. And let me ask you this. If I ask you today, anyone in the audience out there, who could tell me where to go buy bullion, not coins, but bullion in bar form, where would you tell me to go? There's very few people that can answer that question. And then I had to sit back, and being from Tennessee, it's common sense kind of thing. Why do people not know where to go buy bullion? I know where to go buy coins. Every street corner, every little city in America has coins. So why is that so readily available to me? But bullion is a subject that most people don't realize, don't understand, don't know where to go to acquire it. We see it in the movies. It's on those pallets. We see it on the internet. It's on those pallets. But how do I get some of that? And most people couldn't answer that question. So that really inspired me to start digging further to find out why. And Joe, there's two different asset classes like Joe Norman had talked about earlier. When you look at bullion and you're saying that it's not, coins, and they're talking about 999.9 purity. Do you know that there's not a coin out there today that's truly 999.9? If you compared it to bullion, every coin out there has an alloy metal attached. It has to maintain its shape. And if it didn't, it would, be so soft it would disintegrate in your pockets. and it would turn back to dust if it was truly 999.9. And, people don't go wagging bars around in their pocket, but they do coins. But coins have an alloy metal attached to it. But the weight scale and the purity scale on coins is totally different than it is for bullion. I look at the most pure coin in the world today is the Canadian maple leaf. They touted at 999.9. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when you really break it down and you look at the melt value of it, it's only 94% pure. But they get to say 999.9. I've seen those commercials Joe's talking about. And I see these coins. And when you go compare coins to bullion, you're going to find that there's a higher premium attached to coins by far than there is actual bullion. When I started looking at bullion and how it was just not accessible to most people, and I started comparing the differences, what really, impressed me was why is the world limited to coins? Why is that so accessible to everybody, and why is bullion not? And there's a reason for it. When we talk about, I saw somebody had a question in there, why is it so important to have good delivery gold and be associated with the LBMA? Gang, there's a lot of gold being sold out there. If you say 24 karat, that means anything from 999.0 up to 999.9. 24 carats, not necessarily the 4 nines. It can be 3 nines, and that's considered 24 karat. When you get into 24 karat gold, are those nines that the marketplace talks about. You're getting to the point of purity, and it's really talking about, you're really breaking that down into even more asset classes than just the gold and the coin versus coins. But, what we've got here is not just gold. There's a lot of companies out there selling gold, but not every one of those companies are having their gold produced by an LBMA refinery. And gang, that's really, really important because that's good delivery gold. It's that LBMA stamp on your gold means it's currency grade or it's good delivery. It's the only gold in the world that's accepted worldwide for settlement of debts and services. So that LBMA part is huge. Only 52, at my last count, refineries in the world have been able to jump through the hoops and do all the checks and balances to be able to put that stamp on their gold. Not just anybody gets it. And when you can go to lbma.uk.org and go look at the 100+ rules that you've got to jump through to be an LBMA refinery. I understand why there's so few in the world that have that LBMA stamp, but it is accepted worldwide for settlement of product, services, or debt in general. And that LBMA stamp's important. But like I said in the very beginning, Joe, it's not just that we have LBMA refineries that Karatbars associated with producing our gold, where that LBMA stamp's on there. Harold took it a step further. Back in 1993, UBS Bank came out with a technology called Karatbars. And a lot of people call that Karatbars. I guess it depends on where you're from. Tennessee, we say Karatbars. But it's Kinebar. You can research this. Prior to 1993, if you had bullion, it stayed in the vault. That's that secret society. Those secret elite people get to keep their gold, and they hide it from your view. They don't make it available to you like they do coins, and there's a reason. But prior to that, everybody kept it in the vault. Because if you took it out of the vault into your physical possession, it immediately lost value. And not only that, if you had physical possession of it, Joe, the burden's now on you to prove the authenticity, the purity, the fineness of that product. If you ever needed to go liquidate it, Now you're going to have to employ an assayer to sit and re-assay that gold to prove that you haven't manipulated it, that you haven't altered it, that you haven't done something to it, poured it out, and threw some tungsten in it, and covered it back up and called it a gold bar. And, so the gold that was held physically, in people's possessions prior to 1993 was pretty much null and void. Nobody did it. If they did, they were taking a huge risk, and the value dropped considerably, and it needed to stay in those private vaults under a bellsman's watch where it was insured and guaranteed that nobody had manipulated it. But UBS Bank came out with this technology called that Karatbars. And that Karatbars is that hologram that you see on the reverse side of our gold. Not everybody has it. There's only a handful of competitors in the world that produce the quality of gold that Karatbars does. Gang, when you're looking at LBMA stamp along with that hologram on the reverse side of your gold, it's the most sought after gold in the world. It's hard to find. That hologram itself, as long as that hologram remains intact on that bar of gold, then you can take physical possession of it. It's a security feature. And it's simple. It's simple in its the basic, I can't find the word I want to use, but it's really a simple process, but it's really not either. But just think about it. As long as that Karatbars and that hologram remains on the reverse side of your gold and it remains intact, that proves to the world, it's recognized to the world. Anybody in the gold industry that understands gold realizes that is an asset class within itself, because you, the client, will never have to worry about proving authenticity, fineness, purity. You don't have to worry about going and getting it re-assayed. And, when we're looking at Karatbars and where we're headed in the future, when it comes to, being able to use gold to exchange for products and services, would you really, every time you wanted to go exchange your gold for a car, would you really want to go hire an assayer to prove that your gold had not been manipulated or altered or changed in some form of fashion or counterfeited? Gang, with that hologram on our gold, it sets us completely apart from most gold that you're going to see out there being sold. Can you buy it for less? Yeah, but you're not going to get those two features. You're not going to have LBMA stamp on it, and you're definitely not going to have that Karatbars or that hologram on the back of our gold. So those are two key features that really make our gold the most sought after gold in the world.